to Bad Influence. Here with Nikki Bon. Very funny comic.
I was like, when am I allowed to talk? Now I can talk
anytime.
Now. Okay.
Rough night, snuck out, drank poison, blackout, handcuffs, poor choices. It's okay, I'm okay. 'Cause I'm the one that you blame. Walk by with my crown of shame, it's getting pretty bad. I'm a bad influence.
Okay, there we go.
She's here. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
I was going to tell you this the other night when I saw you at the Improv.
Oh.
But then I was like, I'm going to wait because you're going to be on the podcast.
Oh.
I was getting a wax the other day, and you have a great bit about
Getting
waxed, and I think it's the most awkward experience maybe a human can have, and I always like panic about what to talk about.
Oh, you wanted to talk. Yeah.
Well, silence is also...
I mean, maybe I'm just a silent lover. You know, maybe I don't say much during sex. I just stare at the ceilings. I'm like, I mean, it's their job to talk to you.
That's true. I'm worried about them being uncomfortable.
Oh,
for
no.
no reason.
No, they're a good esthetician should like talk to you so it distracts you so much. And sometimes they'll just talk about themselves. And normally I hate that, but in those situations, it's like what you need.
Yeah, no, I'm like, that would be... I've been going to this lady who's like very quiet.
Oh, no.
But she's very quick. So I'm like,
okay,
that's good. But I ended up telling her your whole joke. And she was like, oh, she sounds so funny. I'll follow her on Instagram.
Shut up. Really?
I love that I'm not even promoting like my own.
That is
It's like, I have a funny friend. Follow her.
That is so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for my new fan. That is so
You're welcome.
funny.
You know, just trying to...
I know somebody who once got a wax and they are, here, you want their email?
Yeah, it was like...
No,
literally. She was like... And then like the joke has some language in it.
Yes.
And I did say...
The language.
And I like saw her face and she was like...
Oh, she didn't like
and
it.
I was like, oh, apparently some people are like, that's a really bad word. And I was like,
oh yeah, I know. I mean, it is kind of a bad word. It is. I
not
think that's
in comedy. I think,
not
is
in
the
comedy.
thing. Yeah,
especially for the punch.
Yeah,
like if I was just like, hey, you, but yeah. I feel like we need to tell people.
Yeah,
what
no,
the
I'm
word
like, I
is.
feel
Otherwise,
like...
it's gonna sound like we're saying the N word, and that's
oh my
not
God.
good. We're just saying cunt. That's
just
it.
cunt. Way less
I
bad.
just want you to know that's what's happening.
That's so true. Remember how bad this word is?
We're like,
not that bad.
Yeah,
not that
I
bad.
say it on stage. I don't know why I'm being coy. Maybe it's because of her reaction.
Funny. Oh my God. Can you imagine if I just said the N word to this? Like,
No,
I would never. But also,
no,
like,
but that'd be, then she wouldn't probably
that
be
would
quiet.
probably make more sense for why she was like
Quiet,
shocked and
yeah,
quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was quite the experience where I'm like trying to make her laugh while I'm...
Yeah, it's their job. They got to talk to you. You got to get a new esthetician.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem.
I think it is.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to find somebody else. I have a good person. Right. Not a different person. Than
I was
the one
like,
that did
I
that
don't
to
know if I'm
me.
into the like
No,
horizontal
a different person. Different. But she talks a lot.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really all you need.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not like there's different things you're doing down like...
No, sometimes people have been real rough down there and I'm like, okay, I am a human, a grown human. I'm not a baby who like, you can just, swing them around, wipe their butt. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Not mindful.
That's just rude.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
It was just like, God.
Yeah.
I was like, my husband doesn't even give it to me this rough. This is too much.
Yeah.
It was bad.
What a wild career.
Yeah, I know. It's true. I was actually offered to do that when I lived in Toronto. I worked as a receptionist, and at a salon, at a sugaring salon, and they would always train people. And I was like, no, I have no interest in doing this. I was like 19, 18. By no means do I want to get up in a woman's vagina and wax it, you know?
I know.
I just was too young for that. I was like, I've only seen my own at this stage in life, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, it's a lot. Oh.
Also, like, I don't know how you get into that.
I think it's easy. I think it's like, 'cause you're like doing other stuff, but bless them. They're
Bless
really
them.
good.
They're doing the Lord's work.
They are. They really are. They're doing great.
Yeah. You have a podcast called Recovering
Toxaholic. Yeah.
So on this podcast, we talk about bad influences.
Oh,
and like
okay.
the people we looked up to that turned out to be maybe a little toxic.
Oh, so it's about my mom?
Yes.
Just joking, Mom.
So funny. Usually, I feel like the dads have come up more.
Oh, yeah. No,
but Mom is a good.
Yeah, but we won't do that. I'm just joking, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. Okay, so that's fun.
Yeah.
So the toxic people.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we have a shared interest in the
Toxicity of humans.
The drama.
Yeah. Interesting. I would say that like in middle school, that's probably where it all started in terms of bad influences. In middle school, I was in a group of girls in grade 3. I'm Canadian, so I'm going to stick to the way I say it because then I have to think too hard.
How old is that?
Grade 3 is 3rd grade is what, like maybe 8?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so it's like the same.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
all the same. Yeah. We just say it backwards, or you guys say it back. You guys say it backwards. We say it. It's
You guys gotta
grade
sound cool and British.
3. Yeah, we're like describing what the number is. It's a grade 3. You know.
Yes, that's.
You guys say 3rd. Whatever. Anyways. Okay. So.
Talk about the metric system.
Yeah. So I'm just racking my brain because I'm like I've come across so many different people. Okay. So I think grade 3, I was in a group of girls and sorry, this is me flashing back. I also was in daycare. I had a babysitter. She took care of a bunch of kids. There was probably 11 of us. And I didn't,
Seems like too much.
It's a lot. It was a lot. They had a big house though. It was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was like so much going on, so many kids. And I think that that's the first time that I, like been influenced by kids. I wanted to be the girl that would like she had a daughter and a son and I wanted to be the daughter so bad and wanted to be friends with her. And I was like, I don't know, you all hang out, but she definitely had a huge influence on me in the way, in my interests. So then I became like into Paula Abdul. I'm dating myself. Paula Abdul and like dancing. And I think like a little bit of bullying started to happen a little bit. And she would pick favorites. So it's like, I obviously want to be the favorite. Everybody wants to be the favorite. So I think that we would turn on people sometimes. Like I would get to daycare and it'd be like, okay, now we're not talking to Jahan or now we're not talking to Kate, you know, that kind of thing. So that kind of taught me that mentality of like being exclusive and turning on someone for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
So that was a bad influence. And then in grade 3, in a group of girls where...
It's always the group of girls.
It's the group of girls. The girls are so mean in middle school.
Mean. And it's like
It's
all
crazy.
based in like insecurity and fear, but it's like, I feel like because you know how mean the other girls are, so you're like so scared that it's going to like turn on you that you're like, okay, well, I'll be mean to not be the one we're making fun of.
I mean, but the thing is, I feel like when you're kids... the insecurity and fear hasn't set in yet. I think it's always there's one girl that's the bully or that's like the bossy one who then what you're saying is true. This insecurity and fear comes into it with, you go to school, you're scared they're going to be mad at you, that one, but you're always trying to like keep the scary one at bay and like calm, you know? So yeah, that was definitely a bad influence. I had like a lot of anger issues with them because I would suppress my anger And we would always have these little clubs, you know.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, okay, now we're in this club and we're doing this. And the one girl, Krista, was really exclusive. And the weirdest thing that she said, I mean, her mom had died, and she would always have the sleepovers, and it'd be so creeps because as a kid she would have like the ashes.
Oh,
on
that
the
would
mantle.
creep me out now.
And then she would always be like, I remember what it was like to be in my mom's womb. And I was like, okay, I know I'm only like 8, but I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But she would
No, you don't.
always say that. And I remember the first time we were like, I don't think that you can remember being in your mom's womb. And she was like, yes, I can. So it's like now you had to just do or believe whatever she believed. you know?
Yeah.
And we had these trees in the schoolyard. They weren't our trees, but we thought they were our trees. And there
Yeah.
was 3 of them, and there was 5 of us. And I had my one tree that I chose, and Krista, my friend Alexa, had their own trees, and then there was Kara and Jesse who didn't have trees, but they were fine with it.
Oh,
They were okay. They were
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
I don't know. I think
chill
that
girls. Like,
what?
Chill girls in
well,
the making.
more so like the minion. Jesse wasn't the
No,
minion, but
God,
Kara
yeah.
was Krista. Like Krista would never put Kara first, but she would always turn to Kara if she needed like the backup. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That girl.
Yeah.
So one day everybody was being mean to me for no reason. I came into school and they were just ignoring me, which has stuck with me to this day.
That is the worst, like, in like middle school and high school, ignoring someone and like
Yes.
they don't get to be a part of the group for like a day
And you don't
is
know
the
why.
worst thing you can do.
It's
so awful.
Yeah, my self-esteem is so low. My therapist is always like, it's because of your parents. I was like, no, it's because of Krista Pascuzzi. And I know you don't think that's the case, but it is. It's Krista Pascuzzi and her deciding to turn against me for no reason.
Yeah.
And then always having to be like, where am I at, you know?
I feel like therapists don't give enough credit to the mean girls.
I agree.
Who like ruin every shred of confidence you have
Totally.
by like all they do is like exclude you, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're like,
That's it.
so it's me. It's about me. Like,
yeah. I guess I'm worthless.
yeah,
And
I'm not fun. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not. You don't want to be
I'm
with
not
me.
good
Yeah.
enough. And why are you mad at me? Oh no, I better not like speak up or be myself because I can make you mad. It
Yeah.
just puts you into a shy shell.
Yeah.
And even if you have crazy stuff going on at home, if you have a bad childhood, I think kids are pretty resilient that you can go to school and be in that world unless, you know, I've obviously like there's some damaged
Yeah.
people. But I think that kids can go and like use their imagination, be with their friends and have fun.
Yeah.
Guys do it. I've seen them do it. And so, yeah, one day I went, they were ignoring me, and then it was recess time, and I went outside, and Kara, the minion, she's like my friend now, but she was like really passive in the minion. She was sitting on my tree branch, and it was a young tree. I can't. This is pathetic. I'm like, it was a young tree. It was a young tree, just, you know, a few years old.
Didn't do anything wrong.
Didn't do anything wrong. Very weak branches. Maybe anemic. I don't know. And so I go out and she's sitting on the tree, and Krista's like standing there because she knows it's going to piss me off. And I was like, get off of my tree. And then she was like, no. And she was just kicking her foot. And at the time, Doc Martens were really in, like they are now. But
Yeah,
like
I
when I
was
was
gonna
a
say,
kid,
yeah.
we were ahead of our time. And I was like, get off my tree. She said, no. And I said, you're hurting it. You're breaking the branch. And now it's like about the tree. It's
Yeah.
not about me. It's about this
Poor innocent tree that you must defend from this
helpless-
bully.
Yes. Mother Nature is not okay with this. I said, no, you're hurting his branch. And she just like smirked. And I was like, get off the tree. And she just ignored me. And I kicked her in the shin with
Wait,
my
in Doc Martens?
in Doc Martens.
Oh my god! Wait, I feel like that would like cause some major damage.
It did. I remember like the feeling of it, that it like hurt my toe, which is a lot with Doc Martens.
Yeah.
And I gave it to her so hard. Like it was like my body just went into my right leg and expelled all my anger. And I get off of it. And then she got up and she was crying and ran away. And then I just started crying because like, you know, when you have so much anger, you let
Yeah.
it go. And then now I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, and you're like, no.
And you know, and I was like, you did that to me. I didn't. You were taunting
your
me on
fault.
the tree. So that was a bad influence.
I feel like that is like you lived every girl's dream though.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's
like
true.
we all want to like kick the mean girl with Doc Martens.
Yeah, you're right. You know what?
Yeah.
I can put that on my bucket list.
Yeah,
then.
like
that's a nice thing that I
I'm kind of
did.
jealous.
Yeah, it was very cathartic. Like, I know that day I did what I could, but
Yeah.
I became a pussy after that because,
Well,
I
I
mean, I
if
probably
you've
got in
peaked.
trouble. Yeah. Where are you gonna go?
Yeah,
from
where you
there?
gonna go? Like you're gonna like
I can't grab
you
her
know.
and pull her hair out or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was so afraid of getting in trouble. So
Yeah.
that was my young age of, I guess I was a bad influence for my anger. But then after that, I repressed all my anger. So
I mean, I feel like you probably like got
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
got
it
a-
out
I
in
got a
that
lot out.
one.
yeah.
I moved a lot, so I feel like I constantly was meeting a new group of mean girls.
Oh, that's horrible.
I feel like the thing with kids, like resiliency, you don't know that there are like other ways that people are being raised, so you don't
Yes.
know.
Yes, exactly.
But I remember this girl, Courtney Reef Snyder.
Reef Snyder?
Yeah, that might have been why she was such a bitch.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I got like invited to a birthday party.
Okay.
Which is, I feel like where every traumatic childhood
Yeah.
thing happens.
Yes, absolutely.
And it was like I had just moved, so I didn't really like know anyone very well. And we were like crafting.
What were we making? I love crafts.
We were like bedazzling something
Okay.
or something. I
Yeah.
know there was like glue
Yeah.
involved. And it was at this kid's house that they had like a swing set in the back.
Okay.
And I went to go down the slide,
Yeah.
and these small assholes just put glue all over the slide so that I would get like stuck to it, which is not what happens. I just got glue all over my pants.
Oh my God.
It was so mean. But then I moved like a year later, and I told the story as if I had done that instead of like having had it done to me, as a way to like try and be
cool and ahead of the bullies.
Yeah.
And how did it work?
It did work, but I also am like, my friends were not great.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, I don't know if the mean girls are like the people you really.
They're not the ones.
No.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was like, I remember, like I fully just lied. Like I was like, yeah, came up with this plan and I glued this girl's butt to a slide and she was stuck for days. And I'm like,
for days.
I really like added to it.
Oh, that sucks because they're probably like, Courtney's a little liar.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure. For
damn.
sure.
Oh, man.
I feel like the thing with moving is I would have to make friends quickly.
Yeah.
And I would like rarely know
Who to make friends
people
with.
long enough for them to like catch me on a lie or something.
Yeah. And you also don't know who to be friends with, though.
Yeah.
Because you can come in and the person that's nice to you right away is probably the freak with no friends. Mm-hmm. And then you want to be in with the cool people, but they already know they're cool.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
And then you kind of like have to be mean to or not mean. It's like you want to be with the cool kids, so then you ignore the person that was nice to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's like so gross.
Yeah, it's true. And the nice person is, because when I think, I'm like, the nice person was just a generally nice person, and the losers were actually kind of quiet and mean too.
Yeah.
In my school.
Me
Yeah.
too. I feel like the smart kids that like, I feel like everyone's parents would have wanted them to be friends with.
Yeah.
They were like equally mean
Yeah.
and like really competitive with each
Oh.
other. And
Oh,
like,
weird.
I was not part of that group because I was not one of the genius children. But I had like friends who were like kind of in that group, and I was like, oh,
Interesting.
these kids suck too.
Yeah. That's
It's like
a
the people in the middle that are like,
That's a hard
fine.
life to move around.
yeah, I feel like I didn't know.
Any different?
Yeah, so like it took me a long time to like see the like bad parts of it, because for a long time I was like, oh, I got to live all these places.
Yeah.
And you know, got a new comforter one time when we moved or something. Like I really
Yeah, that's something to look forward to.
you know, it's your parents tell you a lot of things when you're moving to like make you excited about it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of like childhood friends because I moved so much.
That's fair. Yeah. You couldn't make that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it turned me into a comic probably.
There you go. You're like, I'm used to moving, so I can be in any situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Jesus, are you dating Ian Russo? What's going on?
oh my God, no. No.
Okay. So then but they're not older, they're just poor, you mean?
No, they've been older too. But also like late 30s because I'm late 20s.
Oh, okay. It's hard because I'm like later 30s now, so I'm it's hard because they're like my age, so then it doesn't seem old. But then if I was in my 20s and you told me that, or if you told me you're dating someone in your late 30s that was poor, I'd be like, ew. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like my friends are mostly comics in their 30s who, I mean, everyone has like different money situations, but it's like I feel like none of us are like,
oh, we're all poor for
Yeah.
sure. But I just noticed, I'm going to sound like such a snob. I just, like, I'm the type of person that if I go to someone's house, I bring a bottle of wine or I bring a snack or I offer that. And when I started comedy, I just remember that I would go to comedy parties and I would bring something and I would notice that no one would bring any, not the women, but a lot of the men.
It's the men. And
they
then,
don't bring anything and they want all your alcohol and they're just there for all the free stuff. And I was like, get your own. And that's where I was like, this whole not having money thing is fair. We're all like that. I'm in that boat. But you can't be mooching. Like, you can just see the bottom of the barrel.
feel like I have a problem where I'll like go out to dinner with a comic, like a friend, and we'll like split food or something, but then like they eat all of it.
Oh.
And I'm like,
I wonder who you're talking about.
yeah. I'm like, what were we talking about before that?
I think we were talking about, middle school.
Middle school. Oh yeah, and like comedy being like popular.
Yeah. Because middle school, I mean, that's why I'm glad comedy's not like middle school. That's definitely where my worst influences were because I hung out with like that's why I say a lot of ghetto people. And well, they called themselves ghetto, but they were pretty rough.
Yeah.
And doing bad things is what made you cool. And I was in middle school, I was really ugly, and the cool guys, most of them were in this crew of people that I was in because I was friends with the girls and friends with some of the guys, but the cool guys, I remember one guy being like, what's Nikki doing here? So I was that kid that was like, what's she doing here? So it was the type of thing where like we would shoulder tap for alcohol. I learned how to roll a joint and when I was like 11 or 12 because I was cool. So those were definitely the bad influences on me and to try and do all that kind of stuff to fit in to show that I'm worthy of being there.
I feel like because I also was doing that stuff like really young because I was like, I was like thought the cool kids that were doing bad things. I was like, yeah, that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I ended up like really like staying on that like bad kid path for like
You did?
a long time.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I feel like you seem you've always seemed very well adjusted to me for like a comic. I'm like, or not for like for anyone, but like compared to a lot of the people we're always like around, I'm like,
you.
Nikki seems like she's doing well
Yeah, I think
from the outside. Obviously not knowing like
I think because I think it's the being an ugly kid in a cool group of people was purely my personality and also I will say like I had to survive off of that. But I will say that in this cool group of kids there were a couple hot guys that were my friends. I was just telling my husband this the other day. He's like, what the hell? And they would talk to me on the phone every night for like hours. I'd be talking to some of the cool hot guys on the phone for so long because they were my friends because they liked getting advice from me. People would always call me, since like I was in grade 6, they would call me Oprah because I would always be giving people advice.
That makes sense.
I
feel like that stuck around.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I definitely am that still. So that I think made me feel safe to be who I am and myself. And they found me funny, so that's why they were like friends with me. So I think that's how I adjusted was because even though some people were like, what's she doing here? There were other people behind the scenes that were cool in that group that were accepting me and giving me a lot of time, and they wouldn't necessarily like hang out with me at school. Like we were all in the crew. They wouldn't be like, oh, come on, I'll be your friend. But there were like little things that happened I remember in my life that made me feel special and made me just stick to who I am. But I will also say the reason why I'm probably adjusted is because I went to camp for 12 years, and the camp counselors there definitely like helped kids feel more comfortable with who they are. Because when you go to camp, to overnight camp, you don't know who these kids are in school. In high school, you don't know what their identity is in terms of like if they're a loser, if they're cool, if they're goths. You don't know because you can't wear makeup. You can't. Yeah, I mean, you can, but it's very like nature. You go on canoe trip for a long time. So you just kind of get stripped down. And I think that really taught a lot too. Yeah.
I went to camp 1 year.
Okay.
And it was a terrible experience for me.
People say that a lot.
I feel like my childhood trauma really came up. I was convinced my mom was going to move while I was at camp.
Oh, that's
and I was going to have like nowhere to go home
so scary. How old were you?
Like 9. And I still was like,
damn. No, that shit stays with you.
I had really bad like abandonment issues.
Yeah. Is your dad around?
My dad like worked a lot and was like gone a lot, but like came back. And then I had like older siblings who like sometimes lived with us, sometimes didn't.
Okay.
And then we moved a lot. So it's just like a
kind
of like crazy environment.
Yeah.
That if my parents don't like to acknowledge that it was crazy.
None do. Not
they don't. They
the
like
baby boomers?
Like, yeah, they're like, no, we didn't
Everything
nothing
was
wrong.
fine.
Everything was great. But yeah, I was really like, I didn't like sleepovers. I didn't like camp because I was like,
where are you gonna be?
I don't know where my home is.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was a counselor and there was a lot of kids that would have that happen to them as well. They would like have a lot of anxiety. So that's normal, I think. It's not that normal. But it's harder to get adjusted for sure with that kind of thing. Yeah.
When did you start going to camp?
I started when I was 10 or 11. I think maybe 11. Yeah.
I feel like that's a good...
Yeah.
Like right before middle school? Like
Yeah. You're
like getting older?
Yeah.
You know?
It was the summer of grade 6 that I went. Yeah. And exactly. So then the pain of middle school was so shitty. But when I went to camp, it didn't matter. Like I was like normal there.
Yeah.
It was everything was, actually, that's not true, actually. The guys, because it was like there's a guy and girls camp. So you know what? I fucking lied. I wasn't normal there. This is so weird.
Isn't it funny when you like look back and you're like, that was great. And then you're like,
yeah. I'm like, this
now
isn't.
that I remember.
This isn't a normal
But I think about it too hard.
Yeah, then I'm like, wait, no. It was the guys and girls camp. So the girls, I was fine. But it was when we would meet up with the guys that I wasn't. And then, so with the girls, I would feel normal in me and confident. And like, you're great. I'm a good person. I'm so fun. Look at me.
Yeah.
And then we would meet up with the guys. And I would remember, oh no, I am ugly. Because the guys, there was one summer where, 2 summers in a row actually. And it was during middle school, and we'd meet up with the guys, and you would play Spin the Bottle or Truth or Dare. And the other guy, Cabin, they never dared me to do anything with like the cool guys or the hot guys. And they only dared me to have like the loser in the cabin do push-ups over top of me and kiss me, which is so disgusting. Because I was like, in my heart, I was like, I'm cool though. But then because of the way I looked, I got set up with the loser. And then at the camp dance, I got this other letter from a guy being like, hey, Nikki, I like you. And I was like, oh my God, I got a letter from a guy. And then I got there and he was not okay. Like he was standing in a corner by himself. And then the counselors were like, dance with him. And I was like, no. And then he went and he started hitting his head against a pole. And I was like, this is who I am?
Hey, like,
this is what I'm calling in? This isn't okay.
You're like, no, I can do better, I promise.
Yeah. So, as I said, I was like, camp's great. I was like, no, it actually fucks you up too.
Yeah. I feel like it all fucks you up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I feel like for a long time. Well, no, this still happens. I have like brothers and like I have a lot of cousins and a lot of them are guys. And I feel like I've always been just like a girl who has like guy friends.
Me too.
Not in the like, you know how there's like some girls where
I don't
it's like
girls.
I don't get along. No.
Yeah, no,
like
no,
just
no.
in a like
Same. Yeah.
grew up with a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Get along well with guys. But I feel like I've always been like friends with like one really hot guy who like I fall in love with, and then he thinks I'm like his little sister. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it's happened repeatedly.
Yeah.
Throughout like my whole life, and like he'll come to me like
Yep,
to talk about the girl he's like in love with, and I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to like jump off a cliff or anything.
Yeah. Justin Hughes did that to me. I've had that.
Justin is such a hot guy name.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so funny because I just told this story the other day. I was the same thing. Yeah, I had Justin Hughes, hot guy. He would always, we were talking on the phone for hours because he wanted to hook up with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then one day he got drunk and we were all out and we were standing on the street corner and he kissed me and I was like,
Yes.
and then I woke up the next day and he called me and he said, hey, I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. And by the way, let's not go to the Santa Claus parade together anymore.
I have had this experience over
Yes.
and over, where and like it's like always like either we finally kiss or we
Yes.
hook up or like
Yes.
something, but then they're like, I was just really upset about that other girl.
Oh my God. It's so
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
I know the being friends with a hot guy.
And
that's
it's like
using you.
they're always like, you're so cool, like you're gonna be great for someone.
Yeah.
So bad. And it's like, who? Can you find him, please?
I know. But the truth is, at the end of the day, it's like if we keep doing it and it's the hot guy, but if he's so brain dead that he doesn't even realize that you're into him or like holding out,
Yeah.
you know, it's like
they're always unaware and you're like, how?
Yeah.
Like,
I know it's the friend zone thing though.
I'm so good at being in the friend zone. So good.
I'm good at friend zoning. I'm like, you're gonna be my friend, but you got to break that pattern, girl.
Oh my God, I know.
That has got to stop. You can't be. If I'm still doing that since I remember that feeling, it's
the worst feeling. And I'm like, I'm almost 30.
Yeah.
No
I
more
think
it's because
friends
I
with
really,
hot guys.
yeah, I need uglier.
Yeah, you need uglier friends. Yeah.
Because it is like, it's only the hot guy. Like, because I have male friends who are like, no offense, like less
Yeah.
attractive, and I'm like, great, super platonic,
Yeah.
don't care at all.
Yeah. Watch them like you, and they're like, "Fuck, she only talks to me about this hot guy she's friends with him."
I would
You're
love
doing
that.
this.
Be like, thank God, someone wants me.
God, you got to, the hot friends. It really has to be platonic. I have one friend that's really hot, and we are so platonic, and he's one of my best friends. He's like my family now, but he would talk to me about girls all the time. But thank God it was platonic, because if I had a crush on him and everyone thought that we had a crush on each other or that I had a crush on him, and I never did.
Yeah.
But it would have been hell. But I think that I probably put him into the friend zone so quick because I was so used to hot guys being my friend and then being into somebody else.
Yeah. I feel like I had a minute where I had one experience where I thought that was going to happen, and then we did end up dating. It was a terrible relationship, but it was like,
Comedian?
yes.
Oh.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. So many. I need to be taking notes.
All
about
of
the
these,
things
I'm
to
like-
catch up on. Okay.
There's a lot of names that will be named.
Okay.
Post
Yes. Okay.
recording. But I had like one experience where like I was like, oh my God, finally.
Yeah.
It like worked.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, the next time it happened, I was like, oh, I think this happened in 6th grade, and now
No.
it's happening again.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But I also have bad taste. Like I love a like tortured sad boy.
Yeah. That you'll grow out of that.
I can't wait.
It gets annoying. This tortured, the mopey. Ugh. Get out of here.
Yeah. In theory, yes. Like I'm like, I agree with you.
Like, come on.
It's so funny because
Imagine.
I'm like,
Yeah, but imagine them putting their head on your lap and being like,
I've done that as a friend.
that's disgusting. No man can put their head on my lap. No way.
I guess it was more my shoulder, but still, like, come on.
Yeah, but that's more flirty. Shoulder's nice.
Yeah, I know.
But
and I'm always
imagine-
like, oh, are we touching?
He's like, you're close to my neck.
Yeah, and then I'm like, should we kiss? Should we make out? It'll make you feel better.
Oh, you got.
I have the like toxic thing too, where like I want a really like manly guy who will like get in a fight for me. But then I end up dating guys with anger issues and depression.
Okay. So like then they do get angry and they do want to fight for you, but then all of a sudden they're like,
Yeah, later when it's like just us,
Yeah.
but then like in front of like,
they're just depressed and then they get angry too. Yeah, I know.
yeah, and then they like yell at you and you're like, all this is bad.
Yeah.
Where's the fun part?
Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah. Every podcast becomes about how I have bad taste in men. Comes up repeatedly.
Well, then maybe that's something you got to work on.
Oh, for
Sounds
sure.
like that's a you thing.
Oh, it's a me problem. I know. I was like thinking about like recover tox. Was it
Recovering toxaholic?
Is it recovering or recover?
Recovering.
Okay, because I was like, man, I want to get to the point where I'm like, I can say I'm recovered.
I mean, to be honest though, like you will get there, but there's little things that come up that trigger you that you're like, oh my God, I'm not recovered. And that's kind of the point, is to talk about our past and how we were so toxic, and then to also be like, you know what, I did this, I slipped, I did this. You should try hypnosis. That's what I would do if I were you.
Yeah. I'm very open to any method of solving the men issues in my life.
But it sounds like it's the same. Like, I used to be obsessed with Hawkeyes. I still am. I love Hawkeyes. And
I think I'm just shallow.
I think it's because of our childhood and because the Hawkeyes not wanting us.
Yeah.
So
And being like near them, but not like getting them.
We're still trying to get them.
Yeah.
And my friend, I'll give him a shout out, Mike Reagan, when I was in Toronto, he's a friend from university, and then I was always dating hot guys. By that I mean fucking, like no one would be my boyfriend. And
same.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I was obsessed. I love them. And I remember Mike Reagan sat me down, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be with the guy that I'm with now. And he was like, Nikki, listen, you're not a vain person in terms of yourself, but you are so vain with the people that you date and the people that you like. And it's pretty bad. He was like, you're so shallow. You only like hot people. You keep dating the same people over and over and over, and they keep screwing you over. And he's like, this isn't you. You're not that kind of person. I just think you should give somebody else with a totally different look a shot.
Yeah.
And it was like an intervention. I will never forget it. And he knows, like, we talk about it to this day.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was kind of a kick in the face, and with Doc Martens, and and I met my husband. But I wouldn't have been open to giving my husband a chance. I mean, he did have to work very hard to get me to pay attention to him. He's a good-looking guy, but he's not my
I was
classic.
like, I've seen your husband. It's not like...
No. He's not... No, he's a good...
She's describing him like he's like a under-the-bridge troll. But
mean,
like, he's very cute.
He's
and
cute,
like,
but he wasn't when I met him.
You transformed him?
Yes.
You turned him into the hot guy you wanted.
I really did. And even to this day, my friend got us like a mug made with us on it. And the guy on the mug is so much hotter than my husband. And I was like, Matt, this could have been you. Like, this is my dream guy right there. Such a dick. But no,
So funny.
he was just more nerdy looking.
Yeah.
He cut his own hair. He was wearing cargo jeans that were 3 sizes too big, cut as shorts. Like, he was just not he's so much cuter now.
Yeah.
But the type of guy I liked was like tall, built, surfery, modeled, chiseled face. Love that.
Yeah.
Like, just give me
Chiseled
that.
face and tall.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what it is about cheekbones.
Oh, I like a good upper arm. Yeah. Even to this day, I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
So I think that I wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for Mike Reagan. And you need somebody to kick you in the face with Doc Martens, because it just made me just like, when Matt, my husband, was trying to pursue me, I was like, and I had another friend read our text and be like, this guy's kind of funny. So I did have to have people on me being like, pay attention to this, pay attention to this. And then it changed, and I did, and it was a good person, and it's nice too. And even still, it's funny if like I'm around a really hot guy that I think is funny, then I get like there's a couple comics, there's two that are like I don't even talk to them. They're bigger. And so that those people, my insecure self goes away.
Yeah.
Like my insecure self comes back and I can't even like Monterey one time was like, come here, just say hi. And I was like, no, you can't. Like I turn into that person.
Yeah.
So I feel like what you're doing is you're just like reliving these bad influences and going through it and still trying to get the validation that you wanted as a kid instead of realizing that that's never going to give. They're going to be mopey mops that put their head on your lap when you're going through stuff, and then you're not going to feel good. You're going to feel good for like probably a year when you're dating them, being like, I won the hot guy, and then they're not going to be the right person.
Yeah.
So they're not all they're cracked up to be.
Yeah. A lot. I mean, there's a certain one where I'm like, oh, there's so many bad things I know about you that I'm like, but it'll be different. I'm like, I know it won't be different.
No, you got to look for the ones that you wouldn't be with.
Yeah.
I'll get Mike Reagan to send you a voice memo.
There we go. Perfect. Problem solved.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I feel like, the men it's not even the men in my life are toxic. It's like the men I'm attracted to are toxic.
Yeah.
You know?
That's normally the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think like if you're friends with toxic guy friends, like.
There's one that's a little debatable.
Oh. The same one that eats a lot?
No.
Okay.
No. Oh my God. I feel like he's like, well.
See, that's why I asked.
I'm like, I see why you asked. When I thought about it more, a little bit.
You're like, oh, we talk about you a lot. Yeah.
You know what's funny is I feel like, you said the like hot comics that are like intimidating and like turn you into the like shy girl or whatever. I feel like there's like a couple like super, super funny comics who are like friends with people I'm friends with, and I like kind of know them. And for some reason, I always like freeze up and get really awkward.
Oh,
and,
really?
Like, Eric Rocha is like so funny to me. Like, I think he's hilarious. Everyone thinks he's hilarious. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure he probably thinks I'm a bitch because I've been like around and just like shy.
Oh, damn.
And like we don't know each other. And I'm like,
damn.
I'm not.
You should just be like, you're funny. You should post this clip and then he'll know.
The most
and
like.
tag him.
Yeah, be like, hi, I just wanted to tell you, I think you're really funny. And
I'm not being a
I
bitch.
find it hard to talk to you.
Yeah, I think that's what you should do.
Yeah, there we go. Problem solved.
Then he'll share it and then you're friends.
Yeah.
Best friend.
Best friends.
Eric, come on. She put herself on the line for you. Give her, your number. Come on.
Yes, I'm trying to. That's the man I've been obsessed with. He's gay.
He's gay, yeah. And then for a second I was like, does she know he's gay? And I didn't want to.
Yeah. That.
And then I was like, is he gay? Or did I make that up?
I had a friend who was introduced, or was like friend of friend, who was like introduced to me as like gay. And then I guess he like changed his mind, or not changed his mind, but like kind of went back to dating women.
Okay.
But like no one ever told me. And I was just so confused about like,
that's so
were
funny.
they saying gay in like an early 2000s?
Yeah.
There's maybe sucks.
I'm
like
so gay.
Yeah, I was like so, and I'm like, I still honestly do not know.
Oh, I'm
how
gay.
this
I'm
man,
gay.
Yeah, like I'm like, what?
That's so funny.
But it was so funny because I remember he was like talking about a girl he was seeing, and like her name was like Sarah or something, and I was like, man, I don't know any guys named Sarah.
That's really funny. Michael Cera.
Oh yeah, it's true. Maybe he was dating Michael Cera.
Maybe he was. I hear Michael Cera's gay, so there you go.
Yeah. Are there any like bad influence celebrities you look up to? Or
I don't think
used
so.
to look up to?
I will say I remember I used to look up to Cher in Clueless, and that was a bad influence because I just remember my mom saying, "Stop whining," because she would always whine like, "Daddy," and I would whine so much because I wanted to be her. Yeah. So that was a bad influence for my mom.
I feel like that one got a lot of girls. I think we all were like,
wanted to be her.
Yeah, and that's a annoying voice that we all were probably doing.
Yes, definitely. And then the short skirts.
I still do that.
Yeah, love me a good short skirt. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any celebrities that were bad influences. No, because I was obsessed with people like Jennifer Love Hewitt. Oh. I really wanted to be her in the
It's like
Spice
a
Girls.
niche one, I feel like.
Yeah.
What's her most famous like movie?
I Know What You Did Last Summer. Party of Five. Yeah. She, yeah. I don't think that there was anyone. No, otherwise, I think because I grew up in the 90s, everything was a little bit more innocent then.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like, I mean, I got into rap music when I was in when I was like 13. Mm-hmm. So, but I was already into weed before that. So yeah, no, I don't think there's any celebrities that have been a bad influence on me. No.
I feel like that's like, you're like immune.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like I really was like into all the like early 2000s, like Paris Hilton and not Paris Hilton so much, but like Lindsay Lohan was like, loved her. And I was like, oh my God, she's so cool. She makes an ankle bracelet like so hot.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was a little bit the way I lived my life for a while.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, I want to be Lindsay Lohan. And then it was like, ended up in rehab, but that was about the end of the.
So you did the same thing. Yeah. You fulfilled it.
I fulfilled my dreams.
Yeah, no, I can't say I did that. Yeah, no. You committed though. That's good.
Yeah, really to all the success. We're equally as famous, me and Lindsay.
Exactly. Good for you.
Yeah. She turned her life around. Now she's on Lifetime movies, I think.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
Oh yeah.
I wish I had celebrities that were a bad influence, but yeah, I guess I'm too much of a pussy. I just wanted to be pretty. So Jennifer Love Hewitt, Spice Girls, Sarah Michelle Gellar. That's where I was at.
Spice Girls was my first concert.
Oh, cool.
Because I have a sister who's 10 years older than me.
Oh.
And
it's a lot
older, yeah. Yeah. That's my next closest in age.
So you must have really liked her guy friends since you like guys 10 years older.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm like, is that where it came from? It might be.
Yeah, I'm a goddamn therapist, okay?
Clearly.
Yeah, I told you.
I feel like you actually are Oprah.
I know. I just go.
You made a lot of connections and I'm like,
I know.
Hey, I think this improved my life. I don't know.
I'm good at what I do. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I could just be a therapist and not have to go to school. And I would do it. I would love.
Yeah.
It's like maybe I should just start charging comics like $25. Come in, I'll figure it all out for you.
I kind of feel like you could get away with it.
I think so.
We got a lot of problems.
Yeah. I think
You'd be in work for a while.
I would love to do it. I like making those connections. That's why it is. You just wanted to be accepted by her friends because they probably thought that she was cool. And then if you were cool, you know what I mean? The little bit competition thing. But like, they paid attention to me. That's great validation.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks
it was so fun.
Thanks.
Is there anything... I'm not exactly sure when this will come out, but if you want to plug your social media or whatever.
Nikki Bon on Instagram, NIKKIBON, and on YouTube, and listen to Recovering Toxaholic, where we dissect more things and admit really bad things.
It's great.
And also I have a podcast, Whoa Dad, which is the first half is me teaching my dad how to be a father, but then now I talk to people whose parents fucked them up. Sounds like you can come on
like,
soon.
I feel like...
All right,
I'm
we'll
like
have you
all
on
your
soon.
interests.
Yeah, there you go.
All the overlapping.
Next candidate.
Yeah.
See you next week. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Every fucking time, I can never remember what you're supposed to say. Like, subscribe, all the thingies, and my Instagram's at Courtney Siaco. It's Courtney and then CIACCO. Thank you.
Cool.